So, here's the part where I talk about the signs that led me to my conclusion. The aphorism, extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence, according to psychologist Patrizio Tresoldi, is at the heart of the scientific method, and a model for critical thinking, rational thought and skepticism everywhere. It has also been described as a fundamental principle of scientific skepticism. So, when I make the extraordinary claim, clone Hitler was sent back from the future to start World War II so that nuclear bombs, detonated at Area 51, could provide a navigational beacon for time travelers from the future so that the future technology, required to build the infrastructure needed to save humans from a mass extinction event, can be provided to people of the present, some extraordinary evidence has to be provided. I can't provide that evidence, because Area 51, but what I can provide is some possible signs that might indicate that the statement isn't entirely extraordinary. I might even be able to take that claim down to ordinary. In the next set of videos, I'll be showing you some of the signs that led me to my conclusion.
Imagine someone telling you they can fly without an airplane. You would probably ask for proof, right? This simple idea that big claims need big evidence is a cornerstone of science. It's summed up by the phrase extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. This principle, often attributed to Carl Sagan, is essential for separating fact from fiction. When someone makes a claim that contradicts our current understanding of the world, we shouldn't just accept it blindly. We need strong evidence to back it up. Think about it like this. Proving that grass is green is relatively easy. We see it every day. But proving that invisible unicorns live in your backyard, that's a much bigger claim, requiring much stronger evidence. In science, we use evidence to build our understanding of the universe. The more extraordinary the claim, the higher we set the bar for proof. This helps us avoid being fooled by misinformation or wishful thinking. Now let's apply this principle to a truly outlandish claim that Adolf Hitler, the infamous dictator, was cloned and sent back in time. This claim, popular in some conspiracy circles, throws together several extraordinary elements. First, it assumes that cloning humans is not only possible but has already been achieved in secret. Second, it throws time travel into the mix, a concept that, while fascinating, remains firmly in the realm of science fiction. Finally, it posits that someone, somewhere, had the motive, means and opportunity to carry out this elaborate scheme. Each of these elements on its own would be a major scientific breakthrough. Combined, they create a claim that strains credulity. Given the extraordinary nature of this claim, the burden of proof is incredibly high. Anyone making such a claim needs to provide compelling evidence to support it. Anecdotes, rumors, and vague speculation simply won't cut it. What kind of evidence would be considered compelling? Solid, verifiable proof, such as scientific evidence of time travel technology, DNA evidence linking Hitler to a modern-day clone, credible eyewitness accounts of Hitler's supposed reappearance, or declassified government documents confirming the existence of such a project. Without such evidence, the claim remains purely speculative. It's easy to make wild claims, but backing them up with solid proof is another matter entirely. Section 4. Signs and Wonders. What could make this claim believable? While the Hitler time travel theory seems far-fetched, are there any potential discoveries that could make it seem less extraordinary? Perhaps, but even these would require rigorous scrutiny and verification. For example, the discovery of advanced, hitherto unknown cloning technology would be a major scientific breakthrough. Similarly, finding concrete evidence of time travel, even on a small scale, would revolutionize our understanding of physics. However, even these discoveries wouldn't automatically validate the Hitler claim. We would still need direct evidence linking these technologies to Hitler and his supposed cloning. The point is, while we should keep an open mind, we shouldn't let our imaginations run wild. Extraordinary claims, even those supported by intriguing discoveries, still require extraordinary evidence. Section 5. The power of skepticism, a tool for navigating the unknown. The idea of extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence is not about being dismissive or close-minded. It's about engaging in critical thinking and demanding a high standard of evidence, especially when dealing with claims that challenge our current understanding of the world. Skepticism in this context is a valuable tool. It encourages us to question, to investigate, and to seek out the truth. It helps us avoid being misled by misinformation, hoaxes, or our own biases. In a world awash in information, both accurate and inaccurate, skepticism is more important than ever. It allows us to navigate the complexities of the world around us with a discerning and critical eye. Section 6. Conclusion: embracing curiosity, demanding evidence. The claim that Hitler was cloned and sent back in time is a prime example of an extraordinary claim. While it might be tempting to get caught up in the intrigue of such a story, it's crucial to remember the importance of evidence. Extraordinary claims, by their very nature, require extraordinary evidence to be taken seriously. This principle is not about stifling curiosity, but about ensuring that our pursuit of knowledge is grounded in sound reasoning and verifiable evidence. So, the next time you encounter a surprising claim, remember the aphorism. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. Embrace your curiosity, but always demand the evidence to back it up.
The first sign is the one that started me on this path. The accumulation of a national debt that can never be repaid. If the government has been provided intelligence on the next mass extinction event, it only makes sense that the government would share that intelligence with the richest people in the world. Knowing that the next mass extinction event will render all debts null and void, irresponsible levels of national debt can be accumulated in order to pay for the infrastructure necessary to protect what the government and the richest people in the world have decided are the seeds of humanity.
Let's talk about national debt. It's a topic that often gets swept under the rug, but it's crucial to understand how it impacts our daily lives and the future of our society. It's a dry subject, I know. Numbers and graphs can make anyone's eyes glaze over, but stick with me, because this is about more than just numbers on a spreadsheet. It's about the very fabric of our economic system and how it affects every single one of us. It's about trust, accountability, and the future of our planet. When we talk about national debt, we're really talking about the promises our government makes and whether it can keep them. In 1929, the US national debt stood at a modest $16.9 billion. It was a different era with different challenges and opportunities. Fast forward to 2023, and that number ballooned to over $31 trillion. That's an astronomical increase, and it raises a lot of questions about how we got here. That's trillion with a T. It's a number so large that it's almost incomprehensible. Other countries tell similar stories of skyrocketing debt. It's a global issue, not just an American one. It's like we've collectively decided to max out our credit cards with no plan to pay them off. This kind of financial behavior would be unsustainable for a household, so why do we think it's sustainable for a country? The usual suspects get trotted out: wars, recessions, tax cuts for the wealthy. These are significant factors, but they don't tell the whole story. But what if there's something else going on? What if the reasons for our ballooning debt are more complex and perhaps more sinister? What if this level of debt isn't just mismanagement or incompetence? What if it's intentional? Could there be hidden agendas at play designed to benefit a select few at the expense of the many? Throughout history, financial decisions have often been influenced by those in power, sometimes for the greater good, but often for personal gain. People are starting to demand more transparency and accountability. They want to know where their money is going and why. Experts suggest various solutions, from cutting unnecessary spending to increasing taxes on the wealthy. But these solutions are often met with resistance. Imagine a future where we manage our finances responsibly, where we invest in our communities and our planet. It's a future worth striving for, but it requires us to ask tough questions and demand better from our leaders. Together we can find a way to address this issue. It won't be easy, but it's necessary for the well-being of future generations. So how did we get here? The answer is complex, but understanding it is the first step towards a brighter, more sustainable future.
Section 4. The Art of the Steal. Hiding trillions in plain sight. Moving trillions of dollars off the books requires some creative accounting. Luckily, governments have a few tricks up their sleeves. These tricks are not just limited to the usual suspects of tax havens and offshore accounts. They involve a complex web of financial maneuvers that can make even the most seasoned accountants scratch their heads. Inflated government contracts are a classic. These contracts often involve everyday items that are marked up to astronomical prices. Ever wonder why a $10 hammer seems to cost the military $5,000? It's not just a mistake, it's a deliberate strategy. These inflated prices allow for a significant amount of money to be siphoned off without raising too many eyebrows. That's just the tip of the iceberg. Beneath the surface, there are layers of hidden costs and financial maneuvers that make it nearly impossible to track where the money is actually going. Overpriced contracts are an easy way to funnel money to shell corporations, which then redirect those funds to secret projects. These shell corporations often exist only on paper, making it difficult to trace the flow of money. Then there's the black budget. This is a portion of the budget that is not disclosed to the public and is used for classified or secretive purposes. This is where things get really shadowy. The black budget allows for a level of secrecy that is unparalleled, making it the perfect tool for hiding large sums of money. Black budgets fund classified programs that are hidden from public scrutiny, making them the perfect vehicle for illicit activities. These programs can range from covert military operations to secret research projects. And let's not forget about good old-fashioned market manipulation. Governments have the power to influence financial markets in ways that can generate enormous profits. Governments can influence financial markets in countless ways, creating opportunities to generate vast sums of money that never appear on any official balance sheet. This can include everything from manipulating interest rates to influencing stock prices. Advanced financial algorithms and high-frequency trading systems are also tools in this arsenal. These technologies can execute trades in milliseconds, allowing for the rapid accumulation of wealth. Offshore banking operations and international money transfers add another layer of complexity. These methods make it easier to move money across borders without attracting attention. Financial secrecy jurisdictions, often referred to as tax havens, provide a safe harbor for these funds. These countries have laws that protect the identities of account holders, making it nearly impossible to trace the money back to its source. The global financial network is incredibly interconnected, making it easier than ever to hide money in plain sight. With the right knowledge and connections, trillions of dollars can be moved around the world without leaving a trace.
Section 5. When the Earth rumbles, the case for catastrophic planning. Let's be clear, the potential threats we face are not mere figments of our imagination. They are grounded in scientific evidence and historical precedent. We're talking about real existential risks that could fundamentally alter life as we know it. Climate change is already wreaking havoc on our planet, causing extreme weather events, rising sea levels, and mass displacement. The frequency and intensity of hurricanes, floods, and wildfires are increasing, leaving communities devastated and economies in shambles. And let's not forget about supervolcanoes. These geological behemoths have the potential to disrupt global climate patterns and agriculture. These sleeping giants have the potential to unleash eruptions so powerful they could plunge the Earth into a volcanic winter, blocking out sunlight and causing temperatures to plummet. A supervolcanic eruption might sound like something out of a disaster movie, but it's a very real threat. The last major eruption, the Toba event, nearly wiped out humanity 74,000 years ago. And it's not just volcanoes we need to worry about. The interconnected nature of our global economy means that a crisis in one part of the world can quickly ripple outwards, causing widespread financial instability. Pandemics, asteroid impacts, nuclear war. These are all scenarios that could bring civilization to its knees. The COVID-19 pandemic has shown us just how vulnerable we are to biological threats, and the potential for even more deadly pathogens looms large. Is it so crazy to think that those in power might be taking steps to ensure their own survival? High-security bunkers, stockpiles of resources, and contingency plans are all part of a broader strategy to mitigate these risks. But what about the rest of us? How can we prepare for the unthinkable? The answer lies in comprehensive catastrophic planning, which involves not just governments and corporations, but individuals and communities as well. By understanding the risks and taking proactive measures, we can build resilience and ensure a safer future for all.
Section 6. Underground Paradises. A glimpse into elite bunkers. While the specifics of these alleged bunkers are shrouded in secrecy, rumors abound about their luxurious amenities. Imagine climate-controlled environments, hydroponic gardens providing fresh produce, and state-of-the-art medical facilities. These bunkers wouldn't be just about survival. They'd be about preserving a way of life, ensuring that the privileged few could continue to enjoy their wealth and status, even as the world outside crumbled. Some whisper about gene banks, art collections, and libraries, all carefully preserved underground. The idea is to safeguard not just human life but also knowledge and culture, or at least the versions deemed worthy of preservation by those building the bunkers. It's a chilling thought, and one that raises profound questions about who gets to decide what and who survives.
The next sign has to do with the increased number of mega-rich people who have the power to direct government-sponsored renewable energy projects with no oversight. The green energy scam, also called the Green New Deal. The global push for renewable energy has been largely driven by the need to combat climate change and reduce reliance on fossil fuels. Solar farms, wind farms, and battery storage systems are at the forefront of this green revolution. However, these renewable energy projects could just be a way for a shadow government organization to fund the construction of survival bunkers for the wealthy elite.
We hear it everywhere. The buzzwords, the promises, the grand visions, renewable energy, solar, wind, batteries, the trifecta of a cleaner, greener world, saving the planet. It's the future, they say. A future where our energy needs are met without harming the earth. A bright, shiny future powered by the sun and wind. A utopia where technology and nature coexist in harmony. No more fossil fuels, no more pollution, the end of an era of environmental destruction, just clean energy for everyone. A world where every home is powered by the sun, every car by the wind. But what if it's not that simple? What if the reality is more complex, more sinister? What if this green revolution is hiding something darker? A hidden agenda that benefits only a select few? What if the push for renewable energy is less about saving the planet and more about securing the future of the ultra-wealthy, the 1% who have always had the upper hand? It sounds like a conspiracy theory, right? But follow the money. Look at where the investments are going. Billions, trillions of dollars are being poured into renewable energy projects. Projects that promise a cleaner future, but at what cost? And where there's that much money, there's always someone looking to take advantage, someone who sees an opportunity to profit. We're talking about the 1%, the elite, the people who already own everything, the ones who can afford to think long term. They see the writing on the wall, they know what's coming. Climate change is real, and it's going to hit hard. Harder than most of us can imagine, but instead of trying to stop it, they're planning to survive it. Building bunkers, securing resources, and they're using our money to do it. Our investments, our hopes for a better future are being manipulated for their gain.
Picture this. Vast solar farms soaking up the sun, their panels glistening under the bright sky, converting sunlight into clean, renewable energy. Sleek wind turbines slicing through the air, their blades turning gracefully, harnessing the power of the wind to generate electricity. Massive battery storage facilities humming with power, storing energy for when the sun isn't shining or the wind isn't blowing. These are the images of a sustainable future, a future free from the shackles of fossil fuels, where clean energy powers our homes, businesses, and lives. Governments and corporations alike are investing heavily in these technologies. Subsidies flow freely, tax breaks abound. The financial incentives are enormous. It's a gold rush all dressed up in green. Investors are pouring money into renewable energy projects, hoping to strike it rich while saving the planet. But these projects are expensive, really expensive. The cost of building and maintaining this infrastructure is staggering, and that's where the problems start. Funding these green initiatives can be a financial nightmare. The potential for corruption is enormous. Think about it. With so much money at stake, the temptation to cut corners or misappropriate funds is high. How do you track where all that money goes? Ensuring transparency and accountability in these projects is a massive challenge. How do you know if those solar panels are actually producing the promised energy? Regular inspections and monitoring are crucial. Or if those wind turbines are just expensive ornaments on a billionaire's private island. The line between genuine innovation and vanity projects can be thin.
Follow the money. It's a phrase we hear a lot, but it's never been more relevant. Renewable energy projects involve a complex web of investors, contractors, subcontractors, and government agencies. Money changes hands multiple times, often across borders and through layers of shell companies. It's a recipe for disaster. Transparency is key, or at least it should be. But in the world of big money, things are rarely that simple. Contracts are awarded behind closed doors, audits are brushed aside, and the public is left in the dark. It's the perfect environment for skimming, for inflating costs, for funneling money into secret accounts.
Remember those expensive renewable energy projects? Well, it turns out they might be even more expensive than we thought. And not because of the actual technology. No, we're talking about good old-fashioned greed. Inflated contracts, bogus invoices, phantom employees. These are the tools of the trade. The people at the top, the ones with their hands on the levers of power, they know how to play the game. They inflate the costs of everything, from the raw materials to the labor. They create shell companies to bill themselves for services never rendered. And the money? It disappears into a black hole of offshore accounts and luxury assets. Meanwhile, the public is left footing the bill, none the wiser.
Here's a fun fact. Renewable energy projects come with a lot of tax breaks. Governments are so eager to go green that they're practically giving money away. Investment tax credits, accelerated depreciation, property tax exemptions, you name it, it's on the table. And you can bet your bottom dollar that the wealthy elite are taking full advantage. They use these tax breaks to offset their other income, sometimes paying little to no taxes at all. It's a legal form of tax evasion and it's costing taxpayers billions. But hey, at least the planet's being saved, right? Or are we just lining the pockets of the already rich? Shell companies, offshore accounts, tax havens. These are the tools of the trade for the wealthy and well-connected. And they're all being used to hide the money being siphoned from renewable energy projects. It's a global game of hide and seek, and the public is losing. Money is fungible. It can be moved around the world with the click of a button, and once it's gone, it's gone. Tracing it back to its source is nearly impossible, especially with the help of high-priced lawyers and accountants. It's the perfect system for those who want to operate in the shadows.
Renewable energy is big business, and like any big business, it's all about who you know. Public-private partnerships are all the rage these days. Governments team up with corporations, promising to work together for the greater good. But these partnerships are ripe for abuse. Insider deals, rigged bids, conflicts of interest, these are just the tip of the iceberg. The same old boys club that's been running things for decades is now firmly entrenched in the renewable energy sector. And they're not about to let a little thing, like ethics, get in the way of making a profit.
So where is all this money going? Some of it is undoubtedly being invested in legitimate renewable energy projects. But a growing body of evidence suggests that a significant portion is being diverted elsewhere. And we're not talking about your average tax haven. We're talking about something far more sinister: survival bunkers. Underground havens designed to weather any storm, from climate change to societal collapse. These bunkers are the ultimate insurance policy for the ultra-wealthy. A way to ride out the apocalypse in comfort and style. And they're not cheap. We're talking millions, even billions of dollars to build and maintain these subterranean fortresses.
Questioning the motives of the powerful. It all adds up to a deeply unsettling picture. The very people who are supposed to be leading the charge against climate change are the ones who are profiting from it the most. They're using the fear of environmental collapse to amass more wealth and power, all while paying lip service to the idea of a sustainable future. It's enough to make you question everything. Are these renewable energy projects really about saving the planet? Or are they just a convenient cover for something far more self-serving? Are we being sold a lie? The illusion of sustainability, are we being played? We want to believe in a better future. We want to trust that the steps we are taking today will lead us to a world where our children can breathe clean air and drink pure water. We want to believe that we can overcome the challenges of climate change and create a more sustainable world. We put our faith in technology and innovation, hoping they will be the keys to unlock a greener tomorrow. But what if the very solutions we're being offered are part of the problem? What if the promises of renewable energy are masking deeper issues that we are not addressing? What if the green revolution is nothing more than a carefully crafted illusion? An illusion designed to make us feel good while the underlying problems remain unsolved. We need to be careful. We need to scrutinize the data and question the narratives being presented to us. We need to ask tough questions. Questions about the true cost of these so-called green solutions and who really benefits from them. We need to demand transparency and accountability. We must ensure that the push for renewable energy is not just another way for the powerful to maintain their control. Because if we're not careful, we're going to wake up one day to find that the planet is still burning and the solutions we believed in were nothing more than a distraction. And the only ones left to enjoy the fruits of our labor are the ones who lit the match in the first place. We must act now with eyes wide open to ensure a truly sustainable future for all. The fight for a real green future, transparency, accountability, action. This isn't about cynicism, it's about demanding better. We need a real green revolution, one that benefits everyone, not just the privileged few. We need to shine a light on the dark corners of the renewable energy industry, expose the corruption and hold those responsible accountable. Demand transparency, follow the money, question everything. The future of our planet depends on it.
Keep that in mind the next time you see a green energy farm going up. Solar panels, battery farms and wind farms will not make the world a cleaner place to live and will not prevent global warming. But all that money will provide the world's richest people with gold-plated toilet seats for the bathrooms in their mass extinction event bunkers so they can crap in comfort while the rest of us are choking to death on volcanic ash as we watch our loved ones being devoured by rats. The next sign for me has to do with the increase of sedentary lifestyles and the obesity epidemic. In recent decades, the world has witnessed a significant rise in sedentary lifestyles and obesity rates. This health crisis has not only affected individuals' well-being but also appears to have broader social and political implications. The trend towards physical inactivity and resulting obesity has led to massive complacency with government corruption and incompetence. This complacency can be exploited by a shadow government organization to accumulate the necessary funds for constructing survival bunkers for the wealthy elite.
Let's face it, folks, we live in a world obsessed with convenience. We crave instant gratification, easy solutions, and maximum comfort. And who can blame us? After a long day, nothing beats sinking into the couch with a bag of chips and binge-watching your favorite show. But here's the kicker. Our love for the easy life is literally killing us. Health expert obesity rates are exploding globally. We're talking about a full-blown epidemic here. It's not just about fitting into our skinny jeans anymore. It's about heart disease, diabetes, and a whole host of other health problems. We're trading long-term well-being for short-term pleasure, and the consequences are devastating. What's fueling this fire? Well, for starters, our diets have gone haywire. We're drowning in processed foods, sugary drinks, and unhealthy fats. And let's not forget about the lack of physical activity. We're glued to our screens, spending hours on end sitting down. Our bodies weren't designed for this sedentary lifestyle, and it shows. This isn't just about individual health anymore. It's a societal issue with far-reaching consequences. Think about the strain on our healthcare systems. Hospitals are overwhelmed with preventable diseases costing us billions. And it's not just about money, it's about the quality of life. People are struggling with their weight, facing discrimination, and feeling the physical limitations of obesity every single day. It's impacting their mental health, their relationships, their ability to work, and their overall well-being. But here's the kicker. Obesity also impacts our political landscape. A healthy, informed, and active population is crucial for a functioning democracy. When a significant portion of the population is struggling with their health, it creates a ripple effect throughout society. When we're too busy battling our waistlines and struggling with preventable diseases, we become complacent. We lack the energy and focus to hold our leaders accountable. And you know what they say about power and vacuums, right? Corruption thrives in the shadows, in the spaces where we're too distracted or too tired to pay attention. When we're not engaged citizens, demanding transparency and accountability from our elected officials, things start to get shady. And guess what? The folks in power like it that way. A complacent population is a malleable population, easily manipulated and controlled. The corrupt can get away with shady deals, unethical policies, and lining their own pockets while the rest of us are struggling to keep our heads above water. Let's talk about the elephant in the room, big food. These corporations are raking in billions by peddling addictive, unhealthy products designed to keep us coming back for more. They know the science. They know the sugar highs, the artificial flavors, and the processed ingredients are literally hijacking our brains. But it doesn't stop there. Once they've hooked us on the junk, they switch gears and profit from the consequences. Big Pharma swoops in with a magic pill for every ailment, promising quick fixes for complex problems. We're talking about weight loss drugs, diabetes medications, heart disease treatments, a never-ending cycle of profit fueled by our declining health. They've created a system where they profit from both ends of the spectrum, first by making us sick, then by selling us the cure. It's a vicious cycle, and we're caught in the middle. Our engineered addictions to toxic foods and the subsequent medications we need to counteract the effects of those addictions will finance whatever shadowy projects the elite can conceive of.
Unhealthy snacks are a big business for the world's richest people, and so are the medications for those who become morbidly obese. The wealthy elite and politically connected want the individual to stay sedentary and obese so that the governments they pay for can be as corrupt and incompetent as they need it to be. This is how they make a clean getaway to their mass extinction event shelters as soon as the volcanoes start spewing their toxic gases. For the next sign, I want to talk about the increased development of space by private companies. As humanity enters a new era of space exploration and technological advancement, private development of space and space-based defense systems has surged. This shift towards privatization and militarization of space, however, has provided opportunities for the rich elite to work with shadow government organizations to establish a fortified space-based defense system which could protect these powerful groups in the event of a mass extinction event. Corporations, driven by the vision and resources of the wealthy elite and politically connected, are transforming the space industry. However, their activities have also sparked concerns about the potential for secretive and exclusive initiatives. A cooperative effort between the wealthy elite and shadow government organizations to develop space-based defense systems that can be used to protect mass extinction event bunkers from any survivors of the volcanic apocalypse.
Our planet is vulnerable. We face threats from climate change, asteroid impacts, and even ourselves. These threats could lead to mass extinction. The possibility is real. It's a sobering thought. Some powerful individuals are taking notice. They are preparing. They are building underground bunkers. These bunkers are designed to withstand catastrophe. They offer a chance of survival, but are they enough? The elite are investing heavily in these shelters. They are stocking them with supplies. Food, water, and medicine are crucial, but survival requires more than just supplies. It requires protection from the outside world. These bunkers need to be fortresses. They need to withstand any threat. This is where space comes in. Imagine a fortress deep underground. It's built to withstand earthquakes and explosions. It has air filtration systems. It has its own power source. It seems impenetrable. But what about threats from above? A large asteroid impact could shatter the Earth's crust. Nuclear weapons could turn the surface into a wasteland. Even the most fortified bunker would struggle to survive such events. This is why the elite are looking beyond Earth. They are turning their attention to space. Space offers a unique vantage point. It allows for early detection of threats. It also provides a platform for defense. This is the driving force behind space militarization. Space militarization is not science fiction, it's happening now. Countries around the world are developing space weapons. They are launching satellites with military capabilities. The goal is clear: to control the ultimate high ground. This raises serious concerns. Space should be a place of peace and exploration. Instead, it's becoming another battleground. But for the elite, space militarization offers a solution. It's a way to protect their investments. Their bunkers may be underground, but their defenses are reaching for the stars. Imagine a network of satellites. They orbit the Earth watching for threats. These satellites are equipped with advanced sensors. They can detect missile launches. They can track asteroid movements. They provide early warning of any danger. This information is relayed to orbital defense platforms. These platforms are armed and ready. They could be equipped with lasers. They could launch kinetic weapons. These weapons could destroy incoming missiles. They could even deflect asteroids. This is the ultimate insurance policy for the elite. It's a shield against the apocalypse. Section 5. Safe havens above space habitats and the promise of survival. Bunkers are a last resort. They are a way to ride out the storm. But what if the storm never ends? What if the Earth's surface becomes uninhabitable? This is where space habitats come in. Imagine massive space stations. They orbit the Earth, far from the dangers below. These habitats would be self-sustaining. They would have their own ecosystems. They would generate their own power. They would be a haven for humanity, at least for a select few. The elite see space habitats as the ultimate escape. They're investing in the technology now. They are preparing for a future beyond Earth. Section 6, shrouded in secrecy, black budgets and the business of defense. These space-based defense systems are shrouded in secrecy. They are funded through black budgets. These budgets are hidden from public scrutiny. They are controlled by intelligence agencies and the military. The development happens in secret labs. The public is kept in the dark. This secrecy is essential for the elite. It allows them to develop these technologies without public debate. It gives them a strategic advantage. They can protect their interests without interference. Section 7, a tangled web, private sector collaboration and financial engineering. The development of space-based defenses is a complex operation. It requires vast resources. It involves collaboration between governments and private companies. Defense contractors play a crucial role. They design and build the technology. They are handsomely rewarded for their services. Complex financial instruments are used to fund these projects. Derivatives and hedge funds move money behind the scenes. Offshore accounts conceal the flow of funds. This makes it almost impossible to track the money trail. It creates a system of plausible deniability. The elite can claim ignorance. They can distance themselves from the consequences. Section 8, the rods from God, a glimpse into covert space weaponry. Let's talk about rods from God. No, this is not science fiction. This is a real concept. It's a weapon system that has been explored. Imagine tungsten rods launched from orbit. These rods are massive. They are incredibly dense. They fall to Earth at hypersonic speeds. The impact is devastating. It's like a meteor strike. It can destroy targets deep underground. The rods from God are a terrifying example of space-based weaponry. They are a testament to the destructive power that humans are capable of wielding. This technology may already exist. It may be operational. We simply don't know. That's the nature of secrecy. Section 9, a moral reckoning, the ethical dilemma of elite survivalism. The elite's preparations for survival raise serious ethical questions. Is it right for a select few to have access to these technologies? What about the rest of humanity? Are we all just expendable? These questions are uncomfortable, but they need to be asked. The survival of our species should not be a privilege. It should be a right. We need to find solutions that benefit all of humanity. We need to work together. We need to ensure that everyone has a chance. Section 10. A stark divide. The disparity between the prepared and the perilous. The gap between the elite and the rest of us is widening. They are preparing for the future. They are investing in technology. They are securing their survival. Meanwhile, the rest of us are left to face certain demise from the upcoming volcanic apocalypse, left outside to choke on the worldwide plumes of ash and toxic emissions. What choice will the rest of us have? We don't dare attempt entry into the survival bunkers of the elite. With their space-based weapons systems, they will slaughter us like rats. Section 11. Looking into the face of extinction. We are not in this together. The elite will escape. They can build walls to keep the danger out. For you and me, there is no escaping extinction. Our tax dollars are paying for the elite to survive. Some of us may be lucky enough to be given a choice. Go underground with the elite. To survive like rats, stay on the surface. To die like humans, surviving with rats or dying with humans, those will be our only choices.
With knowledge of the next mass extinction event, the richest people in the world, in collaboration with the shadow governments of the world, may have been sending orbital weapons platforms, like rods from God, into space. Anyone asking will be told that these platforms are for the defense of our republic, but we know they'll be used to secure the safety of the wealthy elite and politically connected in their mass extinction event bunkers as the rest of us are eaten by rats. Don't worry about it though, you won't survive long. Before the next mass extinction event starts, the government will abolish the Second Amendment and start collecting guns. Since the government knows exactly when the next mass extinction event will take place, the collection of guns will be perfectly timed so that the weak will be trampled by the strong. All the fighting will reduce the population to a point where any organized resistance can be annihilated as they try to take a place inside the survival bunkers. The next sign is something that we've brought about by our own desire to stay connected. The obsolescence of landline telephones. As technology advances, landline phones have become increasingly obsolete, replaced by mobile phones and internet-based communication. While this transition seems like a natural progression, the obsolescence of landline phones could be part of a process, orchestrated by a shadow government organization in collaboration with the wealthy elite, whose ultimate goal is to build a fortified communication network that will protect the elite from the rest of us while hiding out in their mass extinction event bunkers.
Remember landlines, those beige bricks attached to the wall with a curly cord? Yeah, they're going the way of the dodo. Today it's all about smartphones, Wi-Fi calling, and apps with silly names. Progress, right? Well, maybe. See, we've been sold this idea that ditching landlines for cell phones is just a natural tech upgrade, like swapping your Walkman for an iPod. But is it really that simple, or is there something more insidious at play? Because when we give up our landlines, we're giving up more than just a clunky phone. We're potentially giving up something far more valuable: our privacy.
Section 4. Towers of Power. Who controls your calls? Now let's talk about those towering metal beasts we all rely on. Cell phone towers. These structures are essential for mobile communication, beaming our voices and data across the airwaves. But here's the kicker. Many of these towers aren't owned by the government or even your friendly neighborhood telecom company. Nope. They're often owned by some of the richest individuals and corporations on the planet. Think tech giants, private equity firms, the whole gang's here. And guess what? They've got access to a goldmine of your data.
Section 5. Big Brother's Tech Upgrade. A new era of surveillance? So let's connect the dots, shall we? We've got cell phone conversations that are easier to intercept than landlines. We've got a vast network of cell towers often controlled by private entities. And we've got a government with a track record of, shall we say, creative interpretations of surveillance laws. Starting to see the issue? This isn't about some tinfoil hat conspiracy theory. It's about recognizing that our transition away from landlines has created a system where our privacy is increasingly vulnerable.
Section 6. Landlines, a lifeline for privacy in a digital age. Now, I'm not suggesting we all ditch our smartphones and go full-on retro. Let's be real, that ship has sailed. But maybe, just maybe, it's time to reconsider the humble landline. Not as a replacement for our mobile devices, but as an additional layer of privacy protection. As it stands now, the conversations you have using a landline are protected by your right to privacy. The conversations you have using a cell phone aren't protected in any way, and that makes all the difference.
Landlines are a public utility, and the privacy of any conversation when using landlines is protected by the Constitution. A conversation that takes place using a cell phone, however, isn't considered private, and the government can listen in without a search warrant. This is because that cell phone isn't actually a phone. It's basically just a really fancy walkie-talkie. Anyone who can intercept those signals can listen to your broadcast. It's all perfectly legal. Cell phone towers are private property, and the use of cell phone towers isn't protected by the Constitution. The cell phone towers are owned and operated by the richest people in the world. That means your information is owned by the richest people in the world. With landlines gone, the richest people in the world have access to any information about anyone. When the next mass extinction event arrives and those volcanoes start belching poison into the atmosphere, the richest people in the world can use the information gathered so that no coordinated military efforts will be possible. We'll all be left choking to death from toxic fumes while the world's richest people listen for the last call to be made. The best part is, the taxpayer financed the whole thing. My next sign is the use of chemical farming to support an agricultural system that is the result of a selective breeding program whose aim is to create plants and animals that can produce the same amount of food from 1/10 of the land as normal farming. In the modern world, the use of chemicals in farming has become pervasive, encompassing fertilizers, pesticides, herbicides, and genetically modified organisms, GMOs. While these advancements are largely seen as efforts to increase agricultural productivity and ensure food security, a shadow government organization, in collaboration with the wealthy elite, could use this technology as part of a clandestine strategy to rebuild the population in the event of a mass extinction event.
Our planet is a marvel of life. From lush rainforests to vast plains, a rich tapestry of ecosystems sustains us. Yet in the heart of this natural world lies a system transformed, our food production. Modern agriculture, a far cry from the traditional methods of our ancestors, relies heavily on a cocktail of chemicals. Fertilizers, pesticides, herbicides, these words have become commonplace in the vocabulary of farming. They represent a technological leap, boosting yields and feeding a growing global population. But at what cost? This question lingers in the air, a silent whisper against the hum of tractors and the drone of crop dusters. As we bite into a juicy apple or savor a freshly baked loaf, we rarely pause to consider the journey of our food. From seed to supermarket, it's a journey increasingly intertwined with the invisible hand of chemical intervention. But what if this chemical dependence is not just about efficiency? What if it masks a darker, more strategic purpose? The rationale for chemical-intensive agriculture seems straightforward. A burgeoning population demands more food, and finite land resources necessitate higher yields. Fertilizers provide crops with essential nutrients, pushing them to grow faster and larger. Pesticides act as a protective shield, fending off insects and diseases that threaten to decimate harvests. Herbicides wage war on weeds, ensuring that crops have sole access to precious sunlight and soil nutrients. On the surface, this equation appears balanced, a necessary compromise to feed the world. Genetically modified organisms, engineered for desirable traits like pest resistance or drought tolerance, further bolster this narrative of scientific progress serving human needs. Yet a closer look reveals cracks in this facade of sustainability. The long-term implications of dousing our fields with synthetic chemicals remain largely unknown. Soil degradation, water contamination, and the decline of pollinators are just a few of the alarming consequences already surfacing. Could this relentless pursuit of efficiency be a dangerous gamble, a ticking time bomb for our planet's delicate ecosystems? While the masses consume food produced through this chemical-laden system, a select few may be privy to a different agenda. Conspiracy theories abound, whispering of a wealthy elite preparing for a future where the masses are decimated and only a select few survive. In this scenario, chemical agriculture takes on a sinister undertone. Imagine a world reeling from a volcanic apocalypse or a meteor strike, plunging the planet into darkness and disrupting natural food chains. In such a scenario, traditional farming would be impossible. But what if a select few, armed with the knowledge of chemical agriculture and a stockpile of GMO seeds, could rebuild? This theory, while speculative, raises unsettling questions about the true motivations behind our current agricultural practices. Are we unwittingly participating in a grand experiment, one that prioritizes short-term gains over long-term sustainability, all for the benefit of a select few? Section 4. Earth's warning: the unsustainable path. The Earth, our life support system, is sending us a clear message. Our current path is unsustainable. The consequences of our actions are already being felt around the globe. Climate change, fueled by human activities, is disrupting weather patterns, leading to more frequent and severe droughts, floods and heat waves. These extreme events threaten global food security, pushing our fragile agricultural systems to the brink. The reliance on chemical-intensive farming only exacerbates these problems. The production and transportation of fertilizers contribute significantly to greenhouse gas emissions. Pesticides and herbicides pollute our waterways, harming aquatic life and threatening human health. GMOs, while marketed as a solution, raise concerns about biodiversity loss and the unforeseen consequences of tampering with the building blocks of life. The evidence is clear: we need a fundamental shift in our approach to food production. Continuing on our current trajectory is akin to sailing towards a waterfall, blind to the impending danger. Section 5. Whispers in the shadows, who knows the future? The idea of a shadow government pulling the strings behind the scenes is an idea that has to be taken seriously. This clandestine group possesses knowledge hidden from the public, making decisions that shape the course of history only they will live to see. In the context of our chemically reliant food system, one can't help but wonder, what do they know that we don't? What if this shadow government, aware of an impending catastrophe, is deliberately steering us towards a future where chemical agriculture is the only viable option? The thought is unsettling, implying a deliberate culling of the population and a world where only the chosen few have access to sustenance. While this notion may seem far-fetched, it highlights a fundamental truth. Those in power, whether a shadow government or the corporations that control our food supply, often prioritize their own interests above the well-being of the planet and its people. Section 6. A world transformed into the vision of the elite. The future is a dystopian nightmare. After the upcoming mass extinction event, only the surviving rich elite will have the knowledge and the ability to create a food system to ensure the survival of humanity. There is little or nothing we can do. Shadow government organizations cooperating with the rich elite have already taken control of our food production. America was once a place where diverse, resilient farms dotted the landscape, utilizing natural pest control methods, crop rotation and composting to maintain soil health and fertility. In preparation for the upcoming mass extinction event, those who can afford the luxury of survival bunkers have turned our agricultural system into their personal laboratory. After the volcanic apocalypse has covered the landscape with ash and filled the air with toxic fumes, the wealthiest people on the planet will initiate their plan of indoor farming, protecting them from extinction. Those of us left outside, as always, will ultimately pay the cost for their survival.
So, all the science says that use of chemicals in farming is bad for future generations. But our government allows the use of chemicals in farming as if there will be no future generations. A person can take this as a sign that our government knows something we don't about the future. My next sign is genetically engineered life. Genetic engineering, a powerful tool in modern science, allows for the manipulation of an organism's DNA to enhance desirable traits or introduce new capabilities. While this technology has revolutionized agriculture, medicine, and biotechnology, how can we be certain that there isn't a shadow government organization working in collaboration with the wealthy elite to utilize our understanding of genetically engineered lifeforms as part of a clandestine strategy to rebuild the population in the event of a mass extinction event?
Life. It is the most complex, most extraordinary phenomenon in the known universe. At its heart lies a code, a blueprint written in the language of DNA. This code dictates everything, from the color of your eyes to your predisposition to certain diseases. For millennia, this code remained beyond our grasp, a mystery passed down through generations, but no longer. Genetic engineering has emerged as a beacon of scientific progress, a tool of unprecedented power. It allows us to tinker with the very building blocks of life, to edit the code and rewrite the destiny of organisms. In agriculture, we see crops engineered to withstand pests and diseases, promising to feed a hungry world. In medicine, gene therapy offers hope for curing inherited diseases, potentially eradicating scourges that have plagued humanity for centuries. Biotechnology, fueled by genetic engineering, is pushing the boundaries of what we thought possible. We can now manufacture life-saving drugs in genetically modified organisms, create biofuels to power our world, and develop new materials with properties never seen before. The potential benefits are staggering, offering solutions to some of humanity's most pressing challenges. However, like any powerful tool, genetic engineering is a double-edged sword. In the wrong hands, it could be used for nefarious purposes, potentially creating new weapons, exacerbating existing inequalities, or even threatening the very fabric of life as we know it. The question is, who controls this power, and what are their intentions? For centuries, whispers have circulated of a hidden hand guiding global events, a power behind the throne operating in the shadows. This so-called shadow government, composed of unelected individuals and organizations, is said to wield immense influence, shaping policies, manipulating markets, and controlling the flow of information. Their motives remain shrouded in secrecy, their actions veiled from public scrutiny. Some believe this group consists of wealthy elites, industry tycoons, and powerful families, their fortunes built on generations of privilege and power. Others point to secret societies, intelligence agencies, and military-industrial complexes, their fingers on the pulse of global affairs. Regardless of their composition, their existence suggests a disturbing possibility, that the fate of humanity rests not in the hands of democratically elected officials, but in the grip of a select few operating outside the bounds of accountability. Their interest in genetic engineering is not difficult to comprehend. This technology represents the ultimate power, the ability to control life itself. With it, they could enhance their own capabilities, extend their lifespans, and even create a new breed of humans engineered to serve their needs. The world of biotechnology and pharmaceuticals is a multi-billion-dollar industry, driven by innovation, competition, and the relentless pursuit of profit. But what if these powerful corporations are not the independent entities they appear to be? What if they are, in fact, pawns in a much larger game, beholden to the whims of the shadow government? The evidence, while circumstantial, is compelling. Consider the vast sums of money poured into genetic engineering research, often with little immediate return on investment. Could this be a sign of a hidden agenda, a long-term strategy driven by something other than profit? Further, the revolving door between government agencies and biotech companies raises concerns about undue influence and conflicts of interest. Is it possible that the shadow government is using these companies as proxies, funneling funds and directing research towards their own clandestine goals? If so, what are these goals and how far are they willing to go to achieve them? The answers, like the shadow government itself, remain elusive, hidden beneath layers of secrecy and obfuscation. Section 4. Engineering Eden. Life after the apocalypse. The Earth is a volatile planet prone to natural disasters, climate change, and the ever-present threat of pandemics. For the shadow government, these threats are not merely abstract possibilities, but rather inevitable events that must be prepared for. Their solution? Genetic engineering. Imagine a world ravaged by a supervolcanic eruption, the skies choked with ash, the sun a distant memory. In this post-apocalyptic landscape, survival would be paramount, and the ability to adapt to a hostile environment would mean the difference between life and death. This is where genetically engineered life forms come into play. By manipulating the genetic code, the shadow government could create organisms capable of thriving in this new world. Crops that can grow in volcanic soil, livestock resistant to toxic air, even humans engineered to withstand the harsh conditions. These genetically modified organisms would become the seeds of a new civilization, a testament to the power of human ingenuity in the face of adversity. Section 5. The seeds of a new world, genetically engineered survival. The implications of this scenario are both exhilarating and terrifying. On the one hand, it suggests that humanity may have a fighting chance of surviving even the most catastrophic of events. On the other hand, it raises profound ethical questions about our right to manipulate the very fabric of life. Who would control access to these genetically engineered organisms? Would they be shared with the surviving population, or would they be used to create a new world order with the shadow government at its helm? The answers to these questions could determine the fate of humanity, shaping the course of our species for generations to come. One thing is clear. Genetic engineering is a powerful tool, capable of both great good and great harm. As we venture further into this uncharted territory, it is imperative that we proceed with caution, wisdom, and a deep understanding of the potential consequences of our actions. Section 6. Conclusion. Our genes, their future. All of the life on this planet is the result of the process of natural selection. Genetic engineering represents an opportunity for the wealthy elite and shadow government organizations to take control of those natural processes. Whether taking control of natural selection leads humanity to a brighter future or a dystopian nightmare will depend entirely upon the whims of the elite. Will they create monster? Will they create slaves? No matter what, the future of our species, as well as the genetic future of all life, will depend on the desires of the wealthy elite.
Genetically engineered lifeforms will play a critical role in the shadow government's plan to rebuild the population after a volcanic apocalypse. The next sign is weather control. Among the various theories surrounding the potential applications of weather control technology, one stands out: the idea that a shadow government organization, in collaboration with the wealthy elite, could utilize technologies such as HAARP, High-Frequency Active Auroral Research Program, to rebuild the population in the event of a mass extinction event. HAARP, situated in Alaska, has been a subject of speculation regarding its capabilities in weather manipulation. Although officially intended for ionospheric research, a shadow government could exert influence over scientific research and development efforts to advance weather control technology.
Throughout history, humanity has gazed upon the skies with a mixture of awe and fear. The vast expanse above us has always been a source of mystery and wonder, a canvas painted with the unpredictable strokes of nature. The weather, in its raw and untamed power, has shaped civilizations and dictated the fate of nations. From the rise and fall of empires to the survival of communities, the elements have always played a crucial role in our story. But what if we could control the very forces that govern our planet? Imagine a world where we could summon rain at will or calm a raging storm with the push of a button. The idea of weather control has long captivated the human imagination, fueling countless myths and legends. Ancient civilizations performed elaborate rituals to appease the rain gods, hoping to bring forth bountiful harvests and avert natural disasters. From ancient rituals to appease the rain gods to modern-day conspiracy theories, the desire to command the elements runs deep within our collective psyche. Stories of secret government projects and hidden technologies abound, feeding our fascination and fear. But what was once relegated to the realm of myth and speculation is now edging closer to reality. Scientists and researchers are making strides in understanding and potentially manipulating weather patterns. Advances in science and technology have opened up unprecedented possibilities, blurring the lines between science fiction and scientific fact. We are on the brink of a new era where the weather could be as controllable as any other aspect of our environment. The question is no longer whether we can control the weather, but rather, should we? The ethical implications are vast and complex, raising concerns about the potential consequences of such power. And if so, who will hold the reins of this extraordinary power? Will it be governments, corporations, or a select few individuals? The potential for misuse is as great as the potential for good. The very notion of weather control evokes a sense of both wonder and trepidation. The possibilities are endless, but so are the risks. Could we one day summon rain to parched lands, divert hurricanes away from populated coastlines, or even manipulate temperatures to combat climate change? The benefits could be monumental, transforming the way we live and interact with our planet. Or could these technologies be used for more nefarious purposes, becoming weapons of mass destruction in the wrong hands? The potential for harm is as significant as the potential for good. As we delve deeper into the mysteries of weather control, we must tread carefully, for the implications are as profound as they are unsettling. The balance of nature is delicate, and our actions could have far-reaching consequences that we are only beginning to understand. For centuries, mankind has dreamed of controlling the weather. From ancient rain dances to modern scientific endeavors, the quest to influence the elements has been a constant in human history. Now, with our ever-expanding scientific knowledge and technological advancements, that dream is tantalizingly close to becoming a reality. The possibilities are both exciting and daunting. Scientists around the world are developing technologies that could give us unprecedented control over the elements, with the potential to both benefit and endanger humanity. These innovations could revolutionize agriculture, disaster management, and even our daily lives. One such technology is cloud seeding. This method has been in development for decades and continues to evolve. This technique involves dispersing small particles, such as silver iodide, into the atmosphere to stimulate precipitation. The particles act as nuclei around which moisture can condense, forming raindrops. Imagine, if you will, the ability to bring rain to drought-stricken regions, or even to suppress hailstorms that threaten valuable crops. The implications for agriculture and water management are profound. While cloud seeding is still in its early stages of development, it holds immense promise for addressing water scarcity and mitigating the impacts of extreme weather events. However, the effectiveness and environmental impact of this technology are still subjects of ongoing research. Another area of active research is ionospheric heating. This cutting-edge technology explores the upper reaches of our atmosphere. High-frequency radio waves are beamed into the ionosphere, the upper layer of our atmosphere. This can create localized changes in temperature and ionization, potentially influencing weather patterns on a grand scale. This can create localized changes in temperature and ionization, potentially influencing weather patterns on a grand scale. The potential applications of this technology are vast and varied. Some scientists believe that ionospheric heating could be used to steer hurricanes, disrupt tornadoes, or even induce rainfall. The ability to control such powerful natural forces could transform our approach to disaster management. However, others caution that tampering with the ionosphere could have unintended and potentially catastrophic consequences for our planet's delicate atmospheric balance. The risks of such interventions are not yet fully understood. Perhaps the most ambitious and controversial weather control technology is solar radiation management. This concept aims to tackle one of the most pressing issues of our time: global warming. This involves reflecting a small percentage of sunlight back into space to counteract the effects of global warming. Techniques include deploying vast mirrors in orbit or spraying reflective aerosols into the stratosphere. Imagine vast mirrors deployed in orbit, or fleets of aircraft spraying reflective aerosols into the stratosphere, dimming the sun's rays and cooling our planet. The scale of such an endeavor is almost unimaginable. While solar radiation management could potentially buy us time to address the root causes of climate change, it is a highly risky proposition. The long-term effects on our climate and ecosystems are unknown. The consequences of tampering with the Earth's energy balance are poorly understood and could have unforeseen and potentially devastating side effects. The ethical and environmental implications of such technologies must be carefully considered before any large-scale implementation. Nestled amidst the remote Alaskan wilderness lies a facility shrouded in mystery and intrigue. The High-Frequency Active Auroral Research Program, or HAARP, has long been the subject of speculation and conspiracy theories. Officially, HAARP is a research facility designed to study the ionosphere, the electrically charged layer of our atmosphere. Scientists at HAARP use powerful radio waves to probe the ionosphere, investigating its properties and behavior. However, some believe that HAARP's true purpose is far more sinister. Conspiracy theorists allege that HAARP is a weaponized weather control system capable of triggering earthquakes, manipulating hurricanes, and even controlling mines. They point to the facility's powerful transmitters and its association with the military as evidence of its true nature. While there is no scientific evidence to support these claims, the rumors persist. The very existence of HAARP and the secrecy surrounding its operations have fueled speculation and distrust. Is HAARP simply a harmless research facility? Or is it a harbinger of a future where weather control becomes a tool for global domination? Section 4. The Shadow Government, Masters of the Elements. The idea of a shadow government operating behind the scenes, pulling the strings of power and controlling global events, has long been a staple of conspiracy theories. These theories often suggest that a hidden elite manipulates world affairs to serve their own interests, unseen and unaccountable. But what if this shadowy cabal had its sights set on something even more audacious? Controlling the very weather itself? Imagine the implications of such power, where the natural elements are no longer beyond human reach, but are instead tools of manipulation. Could a powerful and secretive group be manipulating weather patterns for their own nefarious purposes? This would mean that the weather we experience daily could be engineered to serve hidden agendas. Imagine a world where droughts, floods and hurricanes are not acts of nature, but rather carefully orchestrated events designed to achieve specific geopolitical goals. These weather events could be used to create chaos, weaken economies, and force political changes. Imagine a world where weather control is the ultimate weapon, used to destabilize economies, incite unrest, and bend entire nations to the will of a select few. This would be a form of warfare unlike any other, silent and invisible, yet devastatingly effective. The very notion of a shadow government wielding the power of weather control is both terrifying and alluring. It suggests a level of control over the natural world that is almost godlike, raising questions about the limits of human ambition and the ethical boundaries of such power. It speaks to our deepest fears about the concentration of power and the potential for abuse by those who operate in the shadows. The idea that a select few could hold such sway over the planet's climate is a chilling thought. While there is no concrete evidence to prove the existence of such a group or their alleged weather control capabilities, the possibility, however remote, is deeply unsettling. It forces us to consider the lengths to which those in power might go to maintain their dominance and control over the world. Section 5. Weather control, a tool for global domination. The potential applications of weather control technology extend far beyond simply manipulating rainfall or diverting hurricanes. In the wrong hands, these technologies could be used to exert control over entire populations, becoming tools of oppression and subjugation. Imagine a world where governments use weather control to punish their enemies, unleashing devastating droughts or floods upon those who dare to defy them. Imagine a world where corporations use weather control to protect their interests, manipulating weather patterns to ensure favorable conditions for their operations, regardless of the consequences for others. The very idea of weather control being used as a weapon of war is chilling. Imagine armies unleashing storms and floods upon their enemies, turning the very elements into weapons of mass destruction. The potential for devastation is almost unimaginable. The pursuit of weather control technology raises profound ethical and geopolitical questions. If we develop the ability to control the weather, who will decide how these technologies are used? Will they be used for the benefit of all humanity, or will they become tools of oppression and domination?
The next sign is mind control through extremely low-frequency radio transmissions. In an era of rapidly advancing technology, the concept of using low-frequency radio waves for mind control might seem like a notion pulled straight out of a science fiction novel. However, the potential for such technology is not purely speculative. During the Gulf War, mind control, using low-frequency radio waves, is said to have been the cause of all the mass surrenders carried out by Iraqi troops.
Mind control, it's the stuff of science fiction, right? We've all seen the movies, sinister scientists twisting dials, innocent victims turned into puppets. But what if I told you this wasn't just a Hollywood fantasy? What if the technology to manipulate our very thoughts already exists? It might sound far-fetched, but the truth, as they say, is often stranger than fiction. We're talking about extremely low-frequency waves, ELF waves for short. These invisible ripples of energy have the potential to reach into our minds, to influence our moods, even our actions. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that every government or shadowy organization is out there beaming subliminal messages into our brains. But the potential is there, and the technology is real, and that's what we need to be aware of. We need to be asking the tough questions. Who controls this technology? What are they using it for? This isn't about paranoia, it's about vigilance. Because if we don't pay attention to the possibilities, we might just become pawns in a game we never even knew we were playing. The idea that someone could control our minds with invisible waves Might seem like something out of the Matrix. But the truth is, the human brain is an electrochemical organ, and like any electrical system, it can be influenced by external frequencies. And that's where ELF waves come in. These waves are all around us, emanating from power lines, cell phones, and even the Earth itself. But at specific frequencies, these waves can interact with our brain waves, potentially altering our mental states. Let's rewind the clock to 1991, the Gulf War, a conflict etched in history not just for its battles, but for the mysterious illnesses that plagued returning veterans. Headaches, fatigue, memory problems, a constellation of symptoms dubbed Gulf War Syndrome. Now, the official line was that these were caused by chemical weapons exposure. But what if there was more to the story? Rumors began to circulate that something else was at play. A top-secret weapon that used ELF waves to disrupt the enemy's minds. Imagine that: soldiers on the battlefield suddenly gripped by fear, confusion, or even rage. Could this be the true cause of the Gulf War Syndrome? The Pentagon denies it, of course, but the whispers persist, fueled by the very real suffering of those who came back changed. The possibility, however, remains a chilling one. The Gulf War Syndrome, whatever its cause, serves as a stark reminder of the potential consequences of unchecked technological advancement. It begs the question, in our quest for military superiority, have we crossed lines we never even knew existed? To understand how ELF waves could be used for mind control, we need to delve into a little science. Don't worry, I'm not going to bore you with complex equations. The basics are pretty straightforward. Our brains operate on electrical impulses. These impulses generate tiny electromagnetic fields. Brainwaves. Guess what else operates on electromagnetic frequencies? You got it, ELF waves. Now, here's the kicker. When ELF waves at specific frequencies penetrate the skull, they can resonate with our brainwaves. It's like pushing a swing at just the right moment to make it go higher. This resonance can influence our brain activity, affecting our mood, sleep patterns, and even our cognitive functions. It's subtle but potentially powerful. The implications are staggering. Imagine the ability to induce fear or anger in a crowd, or to implant subliminal messages directly into people's minds. It sounds like science fiction, but the science is there. And that's what makes this so concerning. The idea of shadowy organizations controlling the world from the shadows is a popular theme in conspiracy theories. But what if there's more to it than just paranoia? Throughout history, there have been whispers of secret societies, intelligence agencies, and even government programs dabbling in mind control. From the CIA's MK Ultra project in the 1950s, which experimented with LSD and other drugs for mind control, to more recent allegations of electromagnetic weapons being used on civilians, the idea of our thoughts being manipulated by unseen forces has never fully gone away. Are these just the ramblings of conspiracy theorists, or is there a darker truth lurking beneath the surface? The potential for misuse of ELF technology is undeniable. In the wrong hands, it could be used to create a dystopian future straight out of Orwell's 1984. And that's a future we need to fight against. Section 5, the invisible hand disseminating ELF influence. So, if someone wanted to use ELF waves for mind control, how would they actually do it? Well, the scary part is that it wouldn't take a massive, easily detectable antenna. ELF waves can travel long distances and penetrate through almost anything. Think about it. Power lines, cell phone towers, even seemingly innocuous devices in our homes could potentially be used to transmit these frequencies. It's like having an invisible web of influence blanketing our cities, our towns, even our own homes. The thought of ELF waves silently infiltrating our lives, subtly influencing our thoughts and emotions, is a chilling one. It raises the question, are we truly in control of our own minds, or are we being subtly manipulated by forces beyond our perception? Section 6. Targets and techniques shaping thoughts and actions. Elf mind control wouldn't be about turning people into mindless zombies. It would be much more subtle, much more insidious. Think about influencing emotions, implanting subconscious suggestions, or even just disrupting sleep patterns to induce fatigue and reduce cognitive function. Imagine targeting individuals or even entire populations with these frequencies. Political dissidents silenced without a trace, protests quelled before they even begin, or even entire populations swayed to support a particular agenda. The possibilities are as terrifying as they are endless. The technology to influence brain activity exists, and as with any technology, the potential for misuse is a very real and dangerous possibility. We need to be asking ourselves, what price are we willing to pay for security? Are we willing to sacrifice our freedom of thought, our very individuality, in the name of safety? Section 7. The Moscow Signal and Beyond. Echoes of Mind Control. The Moscow Signal incident back in the 1970s is a prime example of ELF waves potentially being used for nefarious purposes. For years, the US Embassy in Moscow was bombarded with low-level electromagnetic radiation. Health problems among embassy staff skyrocketed. Headaches, fatigue, even cancers were reported. Was it a deliberate attack on American diplomats? The Soviets denied it, of course. But the incident raised serious concerns about the use of LF waves as a weapon, potentially affecting the health and mental well-being of those targeted. The Moscow Signal serves as a chilling reminder that the technology to manipulate ELF waves exists and has potentially been used for hostile purposes. It's a stark reminder that the battlefield of the future may not be fought with bullets and bombs, but with invisible waves that target the human mind. Section 8, Targeted Harassment, Voices from the Fringe. Now, I know what you're thinking, Jesse. This all sounds like crazy talk, and I'll admit, some of the claims out there are pretty outlandish, but here's the thing. There are people, everyday citizens, who claim to be targeted by ELF weapons. They describe a constant barrage of buzzing, clicking sounds, accompanied by headaches, nausea, and even heart palpitations. They say they're being tortured, controlled, silenced. Now, are these individuals suffering from delusions, or are they the canaries in the coal mine, warning us of a very real and present danger? It's easy to dismiss them as delusional, but what if they're not? What if they're the victims of a technology most people don't even believe exists? Their stories, whether rooted in reality or mental illness, highlight the importance of open dialogue and investigation when it comes to potentially dangerous technologies. Dismissing them without consideration only serves to further marginalize those who may genuinely be suffering. Section 9. The Ethical Abyss. Where does control end and freedom begin? The potential for ELF mind control raises a whole host of ethical questions. Do we have the right to manipulate someone's thoughts even if it's for their own good? What about national security? Is it okay to use these technologies to control populations if it means preventing terrorism or war? These are slippery slopes, my friends. Once we start down this path, where do we draw the line? At what point do we sacrifice our humanity in the name of security? These are questions we need to be asking ourselves right now before it's too late. The potential of ELF technology, like any powerful technology, presents us with a stark choice. Will we use it to elevate humanity or to enslave it? The answer lies not in blind trust of authority, but in open discussion, ethical considerations, and unwavering vigilance. Section 10. Our right to mental sovereignty. We have a fundamental right to privacy, to freedom of thought. Our minds are our last bastion of true freedom, and we can't let anyone, not governments, not corporations, not anyone, take that away from us. We need to be aware of the potential dangers of ELF waves and other mind control technologies. We need to demand transparency from our leaders. and we need to fight to protect our right to mental sovereignty. This isn't about conspiracy theories, it's about our fundamental freedoms. It's about protecting the sanctity of our own minds. We must remain vigilant, questioning, and informed. Our future, our very humanity, may depend on it. Section 11 conclusion: staying vigilant in a world of invisible manipulation. The human mind is a powerful thing. It's what makes us unique, what drives us, what defines us, but it's also vulnerable. We're living in a world where technology is advancing at an unprecedented rate, and with every new advancement comes new potential, both good and bad. Ilaf waves are just one example of this. We need to be aware of the potential dangers of these technologies, even as we explore their potential benefits. We need to be vigilant, to ask questions and to demand transparency from those in power. Remember, knowledge is power. And in a world where invisible forces could be trying to influence our very thoughts, knowledge might be the only weapon we have. Stay vigilant, my friends.
In the event of a mass extinction event, shadow organizations inside the government would be irresponsible if they didn't use mind control radio frequencies to protect the population from itself. With clouds of volcanic ash blocking out the sunlight, panic would ensue. Radio frequency mind control will be required to save the future of humanity from itself. The next sign is the use of prescription medications for control of aggression. Prescription medications are the best possible method for shadow government organizations, in collaboration with the wealthy elite, to administer mind control chemicals designed to render the population passive and subservient.
They call us conspiracy theorists. They laugh at our warnings, but we see the truth. A shadowy alliance of global elites is working to control every aspect of our lives, from the food we eat to the thoughts we think. They manipulate our genes. They pump our bodies full of chemicals. They want to turn us into mindless drones, stripped of our free will and our very humanity. This isn't science fiction, folks. This is the reality of the 21st century. We're in a war for the future of our species. The weapons are genetic engineering and prescription medications. The battlefield is our own bodies and minds, and the stakes have never been higher. This isn't just about individual freedom anymore. It's about the survival of humanity as we know it. These elites, obsessed with their twisted vision of a new world order, will stop at nothing to achieve their goals. It's time to wake up and fight back before it's too late. They want you to believe that genetic engineering is all about curing diseases and improving human life. Don't buy it for a second. These technologies are just as easily weaponized, transformed into tools of control and destruction in the hands of the wrong people. CRISPR-Cas9, it sounds innocent enough, but this gene editing tool is a Pandora's box. Imagine the power to rewrite the very building blocks of life, to insert, delete, or alter genes at will. In the wrong hands, CRISPR could be used to create designer babies, engineer deadly viruses, or even rewrite the human genome itself. And then there's recombinant DNA technology, stitching together genetic material from different sources. They tell us it's for medical advancements, but what's stopping them from creating chimeras, monstrous hybrids of humans and animals, or worse? Don't forget about synthetic biology, the creation of entirely new life forms from scratch. This is playing God with our very existence. This technology could unleash horrors beyond our wildest nightmares. Big Pharma, they're not just in the business of selling overpriced drugs. They're in the business of control. Those pills you're popping, those medications you trust, they could be doing far more than treating your symptoms. They could be subtly altering your brain chemistry, turning you into a compliant, unquestioning sheeple. Nanotechnology is the key. Imagine microscopic robots, smaller than a strand of hair, coursing through your bloodstream, delivering drugs directly to your brain. They call it targeted therapy. I call it mind control. And then there's neuropharmacology, the study of how drugs affect the brain and nervous system. Every thought you have, every emotion you feel is the result of complex chemical reactions. Now imagine someone hijacking those reactions, manipulating your brain chemistry to control your every move. This isn't science fiction, folks. It's happening right now. They're using these technologies to create a population of obedient consumers too drugged up and docile to resist their agenda. They want you to think we're crazy, that our fears are unfounded. But history is full of examples of governments experimenting on their own citizens, using drugs and mind control techniques to further their agendas. Remember MKUltra, the CIA's top-secret program that used LSD, hypnosis, and other methods to try to control people's minds? They denied it for years, but the truth came out. And what about the Tuskegee syphilis experiment? For 40 years, the government deliberately withheld treatment from black men infected with syphilis just to study the effects of the disease. These weren't isolated incidents. They were part of a pattern, a chilling glimpse into the dark heart of power. And don't even get me started on the 2009 H1N1 pandemic. Was it a naturally occurring virus or a deliberately engineered bioweapon? The evidence is out there, folks. They're playing games with our lives and they're not telling us the rules.
This all sounds really evil, but with the knowledge of the upcoming mass extinction event, the world governments would be irresponsible if they didn't put into practice every possible dirty trick to save humanity. The next sign is kind of an obvious one: the development of humanoid robots. The prospect of a post-apocalyptic world conjures images of desolation, struggle, and survival. In such a scenario, the development of advanced technologies, particularly humanoid robots, could play a pivotal role in rebuilding and sustaining civilization. These robots, designed to emulate human capabilities, offer significant advantages in terms of labor, security, and infrastructure reconstruction.
Imagine a world scarred by disaster. Cities lie in ruins, resources are scarce, humanity struggles to survive. This is the bleak reality of a post-apocalyptic future. In this desolate landscape, a new hope emerges: humanoid robots. These machines, with their advanced capabilities, offer a chance for rebuilding and survival. But at what cost? The collapse of civilization has left a void. Humanity, weakened and depleted, cannot rebuild alone. Robots immune to radiation and disease become the workforce of this new era. They clear debris, construct shelters and provide essential services. Their strength and resilience make them ideal for the harsh post-apocalyptic environment. But their presence raises questions. Can machines truly replace human connection and empathy? As we rely on them for survival, do we risk losing our own humanity? The first priority in a post-apocalyptic world is rebuilding. The devastation is immense, and the task ahead is daunting. The remnants of our once thriving cities now lie in ruins, a stark reminder of the fragility of human civilization. Roads and bridges need repair. These vital arteries of transportation must be restored to reconnect communities and facilitate the movement of resources. Without them, the flow of aid and supplies would be severely hindered. Power grids must be restored. Electricity is the lifeblood of modern society, powering homes, hospitals, and communication networks. Re-establishing a stable power supply is crucial for the recovery process. Crops must be planted and harvested. Food production is essential to sustain the population. Advanced agricultural techniques and machinery can help maximize yield and ensure that no one goes hungry. These are monumental tasks, too dangerous and demanding for humans alone. The risk of injury or death is high, and the sheer scale of the work is overwhelming. Humanoid robots, with their strength and endurance, step in to fill the void. They can work tirelessly, lifting heavy objects and clearing debris with ease. Imagine robots lifting heavy steel beams, their metallic arms working tirelessly. They can perform repetitive tasks without fatigue, ensuring that construction projects stay on schedule. Picture them digging irrigation canals, bringing life back to parched fields. Their precision and efficiency can transform barren land into fertile ground, ready for planting. Envision them operating machinery, restoring power and communication networks. Their ability to work in hazardous conditions makes them indispensable in these critical tasks. These are not mere machines, they are the engines of civilization's rebirth. Their contributions are vital to the reconstruction efforts, helping to rebuild a better, more resilient world. These robots are not mere automatons following pre-programmed instructions. They are equipped with advanced AI, allowing them to learn and adapt to new situations. Advanced AI allows them to learn and adapt to new situations. They can analyze data, identify patterns, and make decisions based on real-time information. They can analyze problems, devise solutions, and even collaborate with humans on complex tasks. This synergy between human creativity and robotic precision can lead to innovative solutions. This adaptability makes them invaluable in the unpredictable post-apocalyptic world. They can handle unexpected challenges and adapt to changing conditions, ensuring that progress continues despite obstacles. But as robots become the backbone of our reconstruction efforts, a question arises. What role will humans play in this new world? Will we become mere observers, watching as our creations take over? Will we become dependent on our creations, our skills and ingenuity fading into obsolescence? Or will we find new ways to contribute, leveraging our unique abilities to complement the strengths of robots? The answer, perhaps, lies in finding a balance between human ingenuity and robotic efficiency. By working together, we can create a future where both humans and robots thrive, each playing a vital role in the rebuilding of our world. In a world ravaged by disaster, security becomes paramount. The once bustling cities now lie in ruins, a stark reminder of the fragility of human civilization. The rule of law has crumbled, replaced by a struggle for survival. The streets once filled with life are now silent, echoing the chaos that has taken over. Resources are scarce and desperation can drive humans to desperate acts. People scavenge for food and water, their interactions fraught with tension and mistrust. In this dangerous landscape, humanoid robots emerge as guardians, protectors against both external threats and internal chaos. These advanced machines are designed to ensure the safety of the remaining human population. Imagine these robots patrolling the streets, their sensors alert for danger. They move with precision, scanning their surroundings for any signs of threat. They are programmed with a strict code of ethics, programmed to protect human life above all else. Their primary directive is to ensure the well-being of every individual they encounter. They can disarm aggressors, break up conflicts, and maintain order in a world teetering on the brink. Their presence alone can deter violence, providing a stabilizing force in a chaotic environment. Their role extends beyond policing. Equipped with advanced sensors and communication systems, they become first responders in disaster zones. They can quickly assess situations and coordinate rescue efforts. They can navigate rubble, locate survivors, and provide medical assistance until human help arrives. Their efficiency and tireless nature make them invaluable in emergencies. In a world where danger lurks around every corner, these robots offer a much-needed sense of security. Their constant vigilance reassures the survivors, allowing them to focus on rebuilding their lives. But this security comes at a price. Who controls these robotic guardians? The power to command such advanced technology is immense and must be handled with care. Who programs their ethics and who decides their limits? These questions are crucial, as the moral framework within which these robots operate will determine their actions. The potential for abuse is undeniable. In the wrong hands, these protectors could easily become oppressors, enforcing the will of a select few upon the many. The balance of power could shift dramatically, leading to new forms of tyranny. The line between security and tyranny can be thin indeed. As we entrust our safety to these machines, we must remain vigilant, ensuring that their power is used for the greater good and not for the subjugation of humanity. The post-apocalypse is not just a test of human resilience. It's a crucible for our health. Disease runs rampant. Medical supplies are scarce. In such dire circumstances, the need for innovative solutions becomes more pressing than ever. The traditional healthcare system, already strained, finds itself on the brink of collapse. Doctors and nurses are overwhelmed. The sheer volume of patients and the complexity of their conditions push human capabilities to their limits. The emotional and physical toll on medical professionals is immense, leading to burnout and errors. In this desperate scenario, humanoid robots emerge as lifesavers, equipped with the latest medical technology and driven by the unwavering precision of artificial intelligence. These robots are designed to handle tasks that are too dangerous, repetitive, or complex for humans. Picture a robot delicately performing surgery, its movements precise and steady. Unlike human hands, which can tremble or tire, robotic hands maintain a level of precision that can significantly reduce surgical errors and improve patient outcomes. Imagine it scanning patients, diagnosing illnesses with an accuracy unmatched by human doctors. Advanced sensors and algorithms allow these robots to detect anomalies that might be missed by the human eye, leading to earlier and more accurate diagnoses. Envision it traveling to remote areas, bringing medical care to those who need it most. In places where healthcare infrastructure is lacking, these robots can serve as mobile clinics, providing essential services and bridging the gap between urban and rural healthcare. These robots are not meant to replace human medical professionals. Instead, they act as force multipliers, extending the reach and effectiveness of healthcare. By taking over routine tasks, they free up human doctors to focus on more complex and critical aspects of patient care. Instead, they act as force multipliers, extending the reach and effectiveness of healthcare. They enhance the capabilities of medical teams, allowing for more efficient and effective treatment plans. This collaboration between humans and robots can lead to a more resilient healthcare system. They can monitor vital signs, administer medication, and even perform complex procedures, freeing human doctors to focus on tasks requiring empathy and human judgment. This division of labor ensures that patients receive both the technical precision of robots and the compassionate care of human doctors. However, the use of robots in healthcare raises ethical concerns. The integration of machines into such a sensitive field prompts questions about the nature of care and the role of technology in human lives. Can a machine truly understand the nuances of human suffering? While robots can process data and execute tasks with precision, the emotional and psychological aspects of patient care remain a significant challenge. Can it provide the same level of care and compassion as a human doctor? The human touch, the ability to comfort and empathize, is something that robots, despite their advanced programming, may never fully replicate. And what happens when these robots malfunction or their programming is compromised? The potential for errors, whether due to technical glitches or cyber attacks, introduces new risks into the healthcare environment. The stakes are high, and the answers are far from clear. As we navigate this new frontier, the balance between technological advancement and ethical responsibility will be crucial in shaping the future of healthcare.
Whatever our shadow government is planning, it's obvious that most of us won't be getting an invitation. Autonomous robots under the control of AI will be required to carry out the mundane tasks during the upcoming, post-apocalyptic struggle for survival. The question remains, will the robot armies that our tax dollars are paying for help those of us on the outside to survive, or will they be programmed to deliver a merciful death?
Hey, everyone. Today I'm diving into a question that's been on a lot of minds lately. Are our tax dollars funding our doom? Yeah, you heard that right. Let's start with some context. The US government is pushing hard to make artificial intelligence, or AI, more accessible. They're collaborating with various organizations to ensure AI tech benefits everyone, including people with disabilities. Sounds great, right? Inclusive tech. Everyone wins. But hold on, there's more to this story. Across the globe, in Saudi Arabia, there's a different AI narrative unfolding. They're pouring a staggering $40 billion into AI investments. That's right, 40 billion. Their aim, to become a global leader in AI and diversify their economy away from oil. This isn't just about smart tech. It's a strategic move to gain global influence. So, what's the big deal with AI? Well, AI has the potential to revolutionize everything from healthcare and finance to transportation and energy. But with great power comes great responsibility. Now here's where things get a bit unsettling. The future of AI isn't all sunshine and rainbows. Sure, it promises solutions to complex problems, but it also raises some serious ethical concerns. Think about job displacement. As AI systems get smarter, there's a real risk that many jobs could become obsolete. And let's not forget about bias in algorithms and the potential misuse of AI tech. So, are we funding our doom? There's a growing fear that the autonomous robots we're developing might not just be doing our mundane tasks. In a post-apocalyptic world, these robots could be the difference between survival and, well, a merciful death. It's a chilling thought, isn't it? The very technology designed to make our lives easier could, in theory, be turned against us. But here's the thing. We're not powerless. The future of AI depends on us. Responsible innovation, ethical guidelines, and open discussions about its implications are crucial. So let's stay informed. Ask questions. Demand transparency. Because at the end of the day, the goal is to harness AI's power for good, ensuring it benefits humanity as a whole and doesn't lead us down a darker path. Thanks for tuning in. If you found this video thought-provoking, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Until next time, stay curious and stay critical.
So those are my top 11 signs that there is an upcoming global apocalypse and that there is a multinational shadow organization directing governments to prepare so that the wealthy elite and politically connected can survive. I'm only listing 11, but I'm sure there are more. Please feel free to post your own.